In the news tonight, police sending a stern warning to criminals in the wake of the island's latest fatal shooting. Government spending more than $5 million to clean and rehabilitate gullies. Barbados ramping up investment in information and infrastructural cybersecurity. And
broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom. Thank you so much for tuning in. And our top story tonight, in the wake of a fatal shooting over the weekend, the Barbados Police Service is sending a strong warning to gunmen and other criminals. The acting commissioner of police conveyed the message during a hastily called media conference this morning. Crystal Hoyt was there and she filed this report.
This is not Barbados. We cannot permit that kind of behavior to be in Barbados. That's
acting Police Commissioner Irwin Boyce, reacting to yesterday's brazen shooting at Rubis Curtin's gas station and food mart in Curtin St. Philip. He is also sending a stern warning to the perpetrators.
We are going to get you. The Barbados Police Service are going to get you, and we are going to get you sooner than later.
Commissioner Boyce says the 3 homicides in less than 2 weeks were all targeted, interpersonal and intentional. What was particularly disturbing for him about the latest incident was that an innocent bystander was injured.
But what is extremely hurtful in this whole episode is the fact that an innocent gas attendant who was just there doing his job is currently at the hospital in a trauma situation, suffering from injuries as a result of the gunshot.
Beyond homicides, the number of robberies is also concerning, with 14 reported in the last 13 days.
I think last week it was that we had about 3 or 4 youngsters who just decided to start to rob people in the north of the island.
However, lawmen are making inroads, with more than half of them already cleared up. Stressing that the public has a key role to play in reducing crime, he made a passionate appeal for help.
What I'm saying to you today is that those people who are close and part of the family setting need just to be anonymous, need just to say to us, do this and do that. This is the information that is available to target guns.
Commissioner Boyce believes working with the public, the police service can get the current situation under control. Crystal Hoyt, CBC News.
Concerned that 3 workers received gunshot injuries in the space of 1 week, the Barbados Workers Union is encouraging Barbadians to condemn these vicious acts. General Secretary Tony Moore says crime is a growing challenge in Barbados and addressing it requires more than just outrage. Action is also needed. Ms. Moore made the call through a statement to the media.
We cannot turn a blind eye when we know or suspect someone is veering down the wrong path. If you see something, say something. If you are a family member, a friend, or even just a concerned neighbor, and you know that someone is hiding a weapon or engaging in activities that threaten the safety of others, potentially and actually, please speak up. Please, for the love of your own loved ones who could, God forbid, fall victim to a similar circumstance, or for the sake of someone else's innocent child, do not remain silent.
Ms. Moore adds that the BWU is hoping for a full and speedy recovery of the worker injured in Sunday's shooting incident at Curtin's gas station in St. Philip, and also all who have been impacted by the act of violence.
Too many workers who leave home every day to earn an honest living are finding themselves caught in circumstances beyond their control. This incident comes exactly 1 week after the tragic shooting involving KFC workers heading home in a company vehicle long after the end of a tour of duty. This latest incident has left us now with the first 2 Sundays of 2025 2 consecutive Sundays, being marred by violence on a day that most Barbadians hold dear and sacred.
The government is spending $5.1 million to clean and rehabilitate gullies across the island and another $300,000 in the next financial year to remove derelict vehicles and buildings from private and public properties. This was revealed as the Gullies Our Life project was launched at Green Hill, St. Michael today. Anesta Henry has that report.
Is planning to arrest the scourge of illegal dumping by stepping up its surveillance system. This is one of the critical features of the $5.1 million project to rehabilitate gullies. Minister of Environment and National Beautification and the Blue and Green Economy, Adrian Ford, says placing cameras at strategic points will hopefully help to catch those guilty of illegal dumping, an issue which has been plaguing society for many years. He was speaking at his ministry's launch of the Gullies Our Life project.
Obviously, I will not disclose to the public where, when, and how, because, as I said, it's clandestine. And for that project, we will be able, hopefully, to track those perpetrators, because we believe that it is high time that somebody go before the law court and answer to those persons who are responsible for the implementation of law in this country as to the reason why they decide to dump illegally in our gullies.
An assessment of gullies across the island has revealed garbage is in all of them. 106 people have been trained to clean and rehabilitate the gullies within the next 12 months. Project coordinator attached to the ministry's Biodiversity, Conservation and Management section, Rohan Payne, says Green Hill has been selected as the pilot site for the project.
We commenced work in earnest, and we've been able to pull out quite a bit of solid waste. When it comes to just, I guess, what we would consider to be municipal waste, so plastic bottles, glass bottles, what would be usually household waste, we're pulling out upwards of 20 bags of waste per hour with very small teams. So it's a major issue. As the program ramps up, these numbers will only go up.
Mr. Payne says invasive species that harm the environment will also be removed from the gullies, while trees will be replanted and the pathways maintained to assist with hiking and other recreational or commercial activities. Acting Permanent Secretary Anthony Headley also announced that the Environmental Protection Department has started the removal of derelict vehicles from across the island.
So far, we have one contractor who already removed 71 vehicles within the last 2 weeks after Christmas. And as you were driving in, you would have seen that the contractors are already here. We're dealing with the derelict vehicles in the community as part of the launch. So you'll see that those are being removed. We're looking within the next couple months to move around 1,300 vehicles. And we've already started the work in terms of doing the procurement for the next 1,300 in the new financial year.
Mr. Headley says work to remove 119 derelict buildings should begin shortly. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
In light of recent data breaches at major institutions, Barbados is seeking to ramp up its investment in cybersecurity to protect national infrastructure. The announcement comes from Minister of Industry, Innovation, Science and Technology, Marcia Cadell, who says she hopes this move will feature high among priorities for this year's estimates. Ms. Cadell was speaking during a bazaar for children in the St. Michael South Central constituency, where she also indicated that this week she will be meeting with the Minister of Finance to go over her ministry's estimates of revenue and expenditure.
Will hear me say from time to time that one of the reasons that we do not come and say many things about the cybersecurity plans is that cybersecurity is a national security issue. It is just like any other security issue, and we have to be very judicious about what we say in the public space. But we do want to assure people that we continue to invest and to strengthen the efforts there.
Ms. Cadell adds that her ministry will continue efforts in the coming financial year to bring all government services together online in one place, making it easier for citizens to access information.
So that gov.bb becomes the home of the client of government online. Any interaction you want to have with the government of Barbados, any service that you have to participate in, that all of those services are brought under one place. And so that, and that also plays the role of removing removing the likelihood of scams and all of these kinds of threats that we've been seeing. Because if you know that this is a trusted, this is the source of truth for everything that government is doing and saying that this is a trusted website, you know where to go and what happens there, then there's a higher sense of trust and credibility.
Coming up on Newsnight, concern about Barbados and the region's level of preparedness for climate change.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Outgoing United States Ambassador to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Roger Nihas, says the region is not prepared for the climate change threats it faces. Ambassador Nihas, who experienced and witnessed the devastating impact of Hurricane Beryl, says Barbados and the other islands in the region must focus on creating resilient commercial buildings and homes. He gave his views on CBC TV8's Morning Barbados, where he announced that after serving 1 year as ambassador, he leaves the island on January 20th, the day of the inauguration of the President of the United States.
I think Prime Minister Motley is absolutely right to raise the alarm bells. I think the second is security because of climate, and I think because there's so much attention and resources being poured into climate, sometimes security isn't as robust. So a lot of countries don't have military. They have, local, forces, defense forces. Maybe they have a Coast Guard. I think having a more robust security is, I think, really important, and I know it's something the United States is really interested in supporting. I see that not only from trafficking of narcotics, guns, people, but it's also illegal fishing.
Ambassador Nihas adds that one of his proudest accomplishments during his tenure is helping to secure close to $1 billion in financing for Barbados and St. Kitts and Nevis. He says the financing will be used to assist with building out climate change resilience programs, energy transformation, and specialized vessels to be used for humanitarian purposes, among others.
And I also see one of the biggest risks is the lack of U.S. private sector here. There are so few. I mean, I come from the private sector, and looking around and meeting people, there are so few American companies here, and there should be many, many more. And that's something that I hope to support on the outside.
Students of the St. Michael's School have been told not to allow outside noise to influence their steps to excellence. The advice is coming from past student and Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Ryan Ford. He's encouraging the students to listen to the noise but decipher the message being delivered. Mr. Ford shared the advice while delivering the featured address at the school's speech day.
If it is truly beneficial to you, your family, and to Barbados, you must determine what excellence means for you. Along your pathway, you will be challenged. Don't ever think you won't. You will also be doubted. Don't ever misunderstand this. You will hear more silent no's than you will hear loud yeses. And in simple terms, persons will be more against you in private than they are loud for you in public. You must ask why or for an explanation when this occurs.
A call has been made for students between the ages of 6 and 16 to join the Barbados Landship. The National Cultural Foundation has opened up the opportunity for those in that age group to take part in the cultural movement. The program is being rolled out in 5 zones in the first instance. Coordinating captain of the Eastern Zone, Rashida Brereton, says joining the Landship is a cultural journey where students learn many new things, including life skills.
We want them to know that we have a culture, and that's the important part of it. We are also going to have some tours, so we're not just going to be in one location, but we're going to be exploring who we are as Barbadians, because Barbados we are cultural beings as well. We don't just have to take from others, but we can, learn about ourselves, develop ourselves, and then set sail to teach others who we are.
And the NCF's Chief Cultural Officer, Andrea Wells, says there have been misconceptions about some of the movements of the landship. In fact, she says some of the movements are still being explored by academics.
Can open up people's eyes in understanding that what they may dismiss as just entertainment and performance actually has some very significant representations of memory. Many of the movements, many of the maneuvers speak to acting out aspects of our history as a people, as a movement. And within this training program, everyone who takes part understands it's a lot richer than one assumed. People do, unfortunately, dismiss landship. It's only about a bunch of people walking up, but that is the tip of the iceberg. As a matter of fact, most of those dances have specific names, specific symbols, and a very interesting history.
Well, sports time now, and as promised, Amory Burke joins us live in studio. Good evening, Amory.
Good evening to you, Lisa. And we begin with news of cricket as the BCA National Senior Selection Panel has announced a 13-man Barbados Pride squad for the opening series of the 2025 Cricket West Indies Regional First Class Tournament, in which the Pride will oppose the Ghana Harpy Eagles during the January 29th to February 1st period at the Providence Stadium in Guyana. The team is missing players who are with the West Indies Test squad on tour in Bangladesh, and also players who are involved in international franchise tournaments. Those selected include Lenico Boucher, Jonathan Drakes, Matthew Ford, Shem Holder, Shamar Holder, Matthew Jones, Javid Leacock, Jair McAllister, Zachary McCaskey, Raymond Reefer, Demetrius Richards, Raymond Simmons, and Kevin Wickham. The captain for the opening series is to be confirmed. Still with cricket, Shea Hope started with the bat for his Dubai Capitals, but his fighting century could not help them from falling to a 26-run defeat to the MI Emirates in today's fourth match of the International League T20 in Abu Dhabi. The Emirates batted first, and skipper Nicholas Pooran was instrumental in their total of 187 for 7, with a knock of 59, including 2 fours and 6 sixes. In reply, Hope, who opened the batting, made 101 off 59 balls, laced with 11 fours and 3 sixes as the Capitals fell short, making 161 for 6. Azari Joseph took 2 for 43. As promised, cricket, an excellent bowling performance by Caribbean Mix laid the foundation for a 9-wicket win over Rising Stars in the inaugural ANA Auto Parts Fusion Boutique Champion of Champions T20 tape ball tournament. Batting first at Weymouth, Rising Stars were bowled out for just 50 in 15.1 overs. Dighton Waldron snapped up 4 for 13. In reply, Akeem McCollum with an unbeaten 31 eased Caribbean Mix to victory on 52 for 1 in 7.3 overs. CBC's Damian Best reports.
Rising Stars batting first against Caribbean Mix. First ball of the night, Bilal Benjon. Goodbye. Plum LBW to Dighton Waldron for Golden Duck. Second delivery, you've got to be kidding. The new batter, Siraj Hadir, completely bamboozled and bewildered. Clean bowl for Golden Duck. Waldron on a hat trick. Well, he didn't complete the triple, but his 2 wickets for 5 runs was an excellent start, and he built on it in his second over. The Bills light up, and Dave Lovell has to march off, bowl for just 3, 13 for 3. Waldron's 4th scout was in the 5th over. Big swipe and miss by Tatir Hussain, bowl for 12, 20 for 4. At this point, it was turning out to be a calamitous batting performance. Case in point, Gonzalo Hooper, the bowler. Yes, no, maybe, and then in the end, Jaden Mapp is left in the wilderness. Run out for 1, 23 for 5. Runs extremely hard to come by Andy Debedin to Mohamed Patel, just like the others, playing across the line. Out LBW for 1, 34 for 6. Boundaries like gold dust, very rare. Hooper to the skipper, Mohamed. Lockhart makes connection, pass mid-off, teasing the fielders, 4 runs. Lockhart contributed 15 and was then handed his walking papers. Picks out Lonsdale Blake at cover. Wicket to Gaddafi Cummins, 46 for 7. Rising Stars eventually bowled out for just 50 in 15 overs. The remaining wickets to fall, Shabazz Kapop bowled for 5, Faisal Dega, LBW for a duck, and Abdullah Bamji caught for 2. Walrus 4 for 13, and Debidins 3 for 9, leading the way. Small setback for Caribbean Mix in their response. Ethelbert Brathwaite caught by Hadir for 2. Wicket to Dega 5 for 1. No panic. Akeem McCullin with some reassurance, short and pulled over square leg for 6, the first maximum of the night. McCullin climbed into the final delivery of the over as well. Identical result, 19 for 1 now. Caribbean Mix eventually cruising to 52 for 1 in 7.3 overs, winning by 9 wickets.
And thanks, Damien. Now, CBC Sports has been in for winner's roll. I'll tell you all about it when I return a little later. So back to you, Lisa.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. We're looking forward to that second half. But up next on CBC's Newsnight is the Business Report. Water created from the air. That's how owner and managing director Kyle Taylor described the newest water-producing company in Barbados, Skywater. He tells the Business Report the system operates off-grid and does not take water from the ground, but from the air. Trevor Thorpe toured the plant located at Walk Spring in St. Thomas and filed this report.
Managing Director Kyle Taylor says their system does not have to wait for it to rain and then take water from the ground. They use condensation. He says a staff of 10 is employed at the facility and help with the storing of water in a holding tank and before it is filtered.
We're doing this predominantly off-grid. So we have a full PV system that we're running about 90% of our own energy. And then our bottling is in either plant-based bottles that we can compost in 30 days in just the backyard in our farm here, right? Or they can be put into a landfill, safe. So there's no plastic in the bottles. They're 100% made out of corn. We also do glass on a delivery return system. So when you take our full product line, we're the only people doing this in the world, making water from air, doing it off-grid, and putting it in plant-based bottles. Skywater.
Chief Operating Officer Philip Laflouf says the operating system is akin to a large outdoor dehumidifier and runs on solar power.
We basically capture the moisture that would be present in the air. We mineralize it. It goes through UV light for sanitation, and then we bottle it. From there now, we, as Kyle had explained, everything is solar run, so the entire operation is backed up on solar. From there, we package them in the plant-based bottles or glass, which is then delivered using either our electric van or other delivery van. Generally, it's just a very straightforward operation in terms of delivery.
Sanitation is high on the company's priority list, and the water company technical official gave details of the plant and the production.
This bottle would go on here and it would spritz the bottle with water with ozone within it to sanitize the bottle right before bottling. So it's basically like a high pressure spray. It's going to hit the bottle to wash out if there's any dust or anything within it, but it also has ozone within it to sanitize it. Then we have a fill system, which is just a timed fill, so you hit the button, it fills all the bottles. With the plant base, we cap these by hand, but with our glass bottles, we don't have any plastic within the cap, so that's why we have these ROPP machines which actually crimp the cap directly onto the bottle.
An automatic bottling system is in the development plans, and company officials say they are also looking at franchising. Trevor Thorpe for the Business Report.
Students of the Grantley Prescott Memorial Primary School have been educated about the importance of saving for the future. The lesson was given by business advisor and community activist Janelle Brown. In a wide-ranging presentation, he told the children they are the future.
What we're doing this seminar, we're teaching them how to save. And then also as well, we're giving them some piggy banks as well, compliments on us, so that they can start to save and we continue over there to build them up. And that's what we got to do. We got to build them from young, so that by the time they get to a certain age, they also have savings that they could take those savings, start a business, could even make it over there for, if it's college or anything like that, they have something to work with. So what we're trying to do is that we're causing young people to build empires and showing them from scratch how to build an empire towards financial freedom.
The business advisor says saving is for everyone.
I just want to encourage the young people out there too as well, and the elderly too as well, because there are other people too that when it comes to financial management or money management, they don't manage money well. It's not how much you get, it's how much you save. So just want to encourage whether young or old to build that savings so that in the future you have something to rely on down the line, whether you get to 60 years or 65 years old, you have something about in the future to look forward to.
And let's take a look now at how the stocks traded locally and regionally.
In Jamaica, Carreras Limited with 5,213,640 units was the volume leader, followed by Wigton Energy Limited and Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited. In Trinidad and Tobago NGL Limited was the volume leader with 270,114 shares changing hands for a value of Trinidad and Tobago $1,269,553.40, followed by CIBC Caribbean Bank Limited. And here in Barbados, CIBC Caribbean Bank Limited was the sole security, trading 277 shares at Barbados $2.10 each.
We'll take another break. When we come back, the weather. Well, let's take in some weather news now. Carrie-Ann O'Neill joins us live in studio. Good evening, Carrie-Ann.
Good evening to you, Lisa, and good evening, everyone. Well, a weak shear line is impacting the island. As a result, we had partly cloudy skies along with a few light showers. The winds across the region, they continue to be light to moderate. They're peaking at 17 knots for us here in Barbados. And the seas are choppy, especially along the western coastline. We do have a high surf advisory in effect. Now, the maximum temperature, 29 degrees Celsius, the minimum 23 degrees. At present, the temperature stands at 26 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity, 73%. Those winds are coming in from the east. We take a look now at some atmospheric conditions across the region, where the temperatures are ranging, I can tell you, from 24 to 26 degrees Celsius. The humidity shows that it's relatively dry across most of the islands, and the winds, they are generally light to moderate across the region. We take a look now at our satellite feed, where a weak shear line maintained partly cloudy skies along with just a few light showers for us here in Barbados. Those winds peaking at 17 knots. The seas, they are choppy along the western coastline. We do have that high surf advisory in effect, and we are urging small craft operators as well as sea bathers to exercise caution. Later on tonight, we can expect a mix of clear and cloudy skies along with just a few light showers. Further south, dry and stable conditions prevailed across the Guianas. And over now in the Western Caribbean, it was also dry and stable, as the ridge pattern was the dominant feature. That's our first look at the weather. After the break, we'll have the forecast. Welcome back. In the forecast for tomorrow, the sun is expected to rise at 6:24 and will set at 5:50. Now, the first high tide is expected at 4:45 in the early morning, the first low at 9:45 a.m. The seas, moderate in open water with swells peaking at 2.5 meters. We are urging small craft operators as well as sea bathers to exercise caution. The winds, they are coming in from the east to the east-northeast, and they're peaking at 30 kilometers per hour. For us here in Barbados tonight, the ridge pattern will dominate. We are expecting a mix of clear and cloudy skies along with a few isolated light showers. And over the next 3 days, a mix of sunshine, clouds, and showers can be expected.
Let's welcome back Anne-Marie now for the second half in sports. Anne-Marie?
Well, good news on our part, as the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation beat out several international news organizations to win the 2024 Media Award for the Beach Cultured World Tour. The announcement was made by Barbados international windsurfer Brian Tama at a media conference held at the Action Surf Shop in Silver Sands. Tama says CBC has been supporting his journey throughout the entire tour as he recapped how the year went.
2024 was really successful.
got inducted to the Windsurf Hall of Fame. Dominican Republic came second in this competition. Went to France, received the Hall of Fame. Went to Germany, did the trade show, ecotourism and climate change. Went also back to Hawaii, did the Aloha Classic, and also ended the year with crowning the beach culture world champion. That was Liam Dunkerbeck, and now we're ready for 2025. But to end it off, for example, when it comes to 2025 Media Award, CBC wins this year. And that is, just to give you a clear idea, we had a lot of media this year. Surf Magazine did a 6-page spread. Social media, they did a big spread. Sport and Barbados did an amazing spread. A lot of magazines, we had a lot of media, but CBC did a lot, followed the whole journey. And also, Morning Barbados did 2 segments. So I want to thank CBC and Morning Barbados for really following this journey and articulating more so the Global Organic Tourism Master Plan, and that is what we'll be doing for 2025.
The Lifetime Achievement Award went to photographer Darrell Wong from Maui. The Industry Award went to Core Kiteboard and Wing Foiling, while the Destination Award went to Master of the Ocean in the Dominican Republic. Thomas says 2025 is set and ready for events locally and internationally.
So I've got confirmation from a lot of European countries that they want the Beach Culture World Tour to come to them. We're talking about Austria, we're talking about Germany, we're talking about France. Those are confirmed. And then Dominican Republic. So Dominican Republic was the destination of 2025. So we have September to remember in Dominican Republic for the month of September. I will go there and do Master of the Ocean, where we have the same thing I'm doing here, how to revitalize their tourist sector in a slow month. In Barbados, in June, we have the Waterman Festival, and what we do at the Waterman Festival, it'll be like kind of a clinic. Waterman Festival, again, people here have come for the month of June. September, we have Last Waterman Standing, paddle around Barbados. So that every month we're going to have something happening either here and also internationally. So the tour for next year, and then to finish it off, we have the Aloha Classic, which will be with IWT. So far, the Beach Culture World Tour has collaborated with the IWT, which is an international windsurfing tour. So they are allowing me to give me the platform at their events to platform the Beach Culture World Tour, articulating the Global Organic Tourism Master Plan.
And in some sad news, former national footballer, coach and commentator Keith Griffith has passed at the age of 80. Versatile in sports, Griffith was also a former national road tennis champion, a sport that he was also a commentator and analyst for the CBC and other broadcasters. With many saddened by the news, President of the Barbados Football Association, Randy Harris, said Griffith, who was also a technical director at the BFA, played a major role in developing the sport locally.
It was under Bern Fisher that Keith really took in the rudiments of coaching. And at the time, Barbados football was played mainly in the city. With the advent of parish leagues, Keith did a lot going around the island, developing clubs and players. And I think that is the standout that I remember him for, spreading the football in communities, helping in the different parishes. Keith Griffith is a phenomenon in football in Barbados, and people will remember him for a very, very long time.
Friend and fellow commentator Andy Thornhill says Griffith was the best in the field.
I would tell him all the time, Keith, you are the best football commentator in the world. And it's because I got close to see his skills, his skill set. You know, you can give Keith a team, he looks at the paper once, and then he remembers photographically all of the players on both sides. Very, very knowledgeable. As a coach as well, he played his part, technical director, consultant. He was exceptional in the field of football. And I hope the football fraternity, those in authority, would do something to continue his legacy.
Frank Gill remembers his friend and CBC commentary partner as a man beyond a player.
What I admired most about Keith was that there was actually no height that he thought he could not have attained. And he worked towards his goals really hard, and I must say that he achieved. He brought a certain flair to commentary in football. He was passionate about football, and he wasn't satisfied to finish just as a footballer, whether it was in coaching, whether it was playing, whether it was organizing, wherever he found himself, he excelled. May he rest in peace.
Now, CBC offers condolences to Griffith's family, friends, as well as the football and road tennis fraternities. Well, that's it for sports. Lisa, it's back over to you.
Thank you very much, Anne-Marie, and we'll be back after this break. And that's our news for tonight. On behalf of the entire team, thank you so much for tuning in.